going to be another nice day today. I'll get to the weather in just a moment. On our show today, Pat English is here today from United Mutual. She's brought along Brett Crane, and they're talking about resales and inspections and all that goes with that. United is starting they're kind of doing a new program, and we'll tell you all about that. Carol Moore is due to drop by today, and Carol is, of course, the mayor of the city of Laguna Woods. They had their city council meeting just recently, and she'll give us a wrap-up of that and all the things that are coming to the area. And, you know, how's the new shopping center going on as far as the remodel over there? She'll give us all the updates. Sterling Financial Advisors, we will bring you a segment with Pat Oweiler, and then we'll also bring you a segment from Advanced Ear Care with Stuart Spencer. Now, there's only one meeting today, and that meeting is the PAC Ad Hoc Committee, which stands for Performing Arts Center. And if you would like to stop by, it is in the morning today. If you're watching us right now, it starts in just a few minutes over in the boardroom on the first floor of the community center building. Now let's get to the weather, and the pattern just continues, folks, with the morning June gloom, but then it gives way, as you've seen, to a beautiful afternoon, and the fog begins to return, seems to be right around 7 o'clock or so. Kind of a normal pattern, not that unusual. This is June after all, and we usually have this pattern sometimes all the way into mid-July. It always seems around the 4th of July gets to be a foggy day. But temperature-wise, again, I'm not being lazy by the temperatures or what I put down there. That's just exactly what it is all the way into next week. And the only difference is, as I've been saying, is if this fog layer burns off a little bit quicker, we'll see a couple degrees warmer than what I have there. That's really the only difference. We're going to hover right around anywhere from 80 degrees to maybe down to about 77 or so, maybe hit 81 all the way through next week. So this is, again, very normal pattern that we're in. It's great weather. I love it because, again, cool overnights, cool in the mornings, and just wonderful afternoons and evenings. Let's take a look around the state, and it's kind of the same scenario everywhere. Look at, first of all, the North Coast, 69 degrees up there and sunny throughout the state. It's going to be the same pattern. The Central Coast right there, they'll get a little bit of the morning fog if you go out to the places like Cambria, and if you go in just a little bit to San Luis Obispo, they might get a little bit of fog in the morning. But otherwise, the temperatures around the state are going to be mild to warm to hot, just depending where you go. Look at South Lake Tahoe and Yosemite in the 80s, Lake Arrowhead in the 80s, and Palm Springs is going to be about 112 for their average. I think they're going to be about 112 today, and then as they get to Saturday and Sunday, they're going to drop down more closer to about, I'd say about 105 or so. I don't even know if you'd notice the difference, but it is a dry heat, as they say, and a wonderful time to go out there before midsummer really hits, and they get even closer to 118 or so. But overall, anywhere you go in the state this weekend, it's going to be absolutely beautiful. All right, we'll be back.
Managing your own medication can be stressful. For decades, we have watched you stand in line at your local pharmacy and battle with insurance companies, all to be left with the difficult task of organizing, managing, and remembering to take your medication. AmeriPharma offers a new way of simplifying the lives of you and your loved ones.
In previous years, I didn't require any prescriptions, but now I have to take about 7 or 8 due to various conditions. It's a management problem. My nurse told me about AmeriPharma's MedBox. I switched over. Boy, am I glad I did. It's really easy to use and it's solved all my problems.
Get your medications delivered to your door. You'll receive your pre-sorted MedBox that easily allows you to tear and take the required medication regimen at the plainly printed date and time. AmeriPharma MedBox, the new standard in medication management.
Dental health is important, and it can be tough to find the best fit for your needs. Flora Stenger General and Specialty Dental Practice covers most of my dental needs in one location. Their on-staff specialists provide seamless services and communication between me, my doctors, and my insurance company. Located right down the road from Laguna Woods, our bus service stops right in front of their building. For the first time, I'm getting the dental care I need with the treatment I deserve. And my dental health has never been better. Call and book your first appointment today. I'm glad I did.
At El Toro Pharmacy, your health needs and your quality of life is our top priority. We can be trusted with all your prescription needs, delivered free to your doorstep. Call us to have your prescription transferred. We will take care of everything. No hassle to you. We are a full-service pharmacy carrying all your over-the-counter medicines at competitive prices. And we offer complete diabetic care and your immunization requirements too. Under new management, come visit us in Moulton Plaza. El Toro Pharmacy will never be undersold, and we offer the finest after-sale services.
Hey Laguna Woods, it's Ken.
And Lisa.
Did you miss an episode of This Day? Not to worry. Head over to youtube.com and search Village Television.
Here you can find each episode of This Day and other community programs such as Good Day OC, Discovering Laguna Woods, and much more.
Just click the red subscribe button, then click the bell to be emailed every time we upload a video.
Don't miss out.
And subscribe today.
Different is powerful, yet calming. Different is a friendly smile. Different is accepting, not judging.
Different is the unexplained, left to the imagination.
A day without plans, to walk, to explore, a coastal drive with no destination. Different is anything but predictable. Different can be good. At South County Lexus, you'll find different is amazing.
With me right now from United Mutual Board is Pat English. And Pat, today you've brought along Brett Crane. And Brett, you are the supervisor of resales and inspections and everything that kind of goes with that, right? Alterations and all.
Correct.
Great to have you here today. And what we're really going to talk about is kind of a change within United.
The resales.
About the resales and how you go about inspecting them. And quite often, you've talked about this in the past, that people may have an alteration in there that they're not even aware of. They might have moved in not knowing it was an alteration just because of how things were done at a particular point in time. So this kind of brings everything together so they can be properly sold and make sure they're up to speed, right?
That's right, yes. There's quite a lot of issues here, and I'm sure Brett's going to explain them very well. And if he doesn't, I shall ask him questions.
All right, nice to have you. Thank you, Brett, for coming up today.
Thank you. So this month, United Board reviewed a new policy that we're going to kind of take over for the resale section. During that process, we currently are holding funds to make the corrections if not made by the close of escrow.
Okay.
Starting September 1st, those corrections are going to have to be completed before the close of escrow. So as the inspections do their first inspection and identify anything that needs to be corrected, that time frame from the first inspection to the close of escrow, all those items need to be corrected. Now that may delay the process a little bit, but that's kind of going to be put on us where we're going to have to make sure we expedite it. We have to kind of maintain and make sure we're taking care of the mutual's assets, but it's going to help the process.
Okay, let's talk about, maybe you can give me a hypothetical of what's something that might be corrected. Now, is it mainly due to alterations, or could it be simply that you go in and it was part of the unit itself, part of the co-op agreement, and it needs to be repaired? Maybe the person living there for a while just kind of, maybe they didn't use their dishwasher for a couple of years and didn't decide to get it repaired, yet the dishwasher or whatever it may be is part of that unit.
Right, so probably one of the most common items we see, because our community is pretty unique, we have what is called radiant heat. Radiant heat runs through the
from
drywall.
The ceilings, right?
From the ceilings. So when someone installs a ceiling fan, they might not know, but they can actually damage that radiant heat.
Okay.
It is a code requirement that you have a heat source to be considered a habitable living area.
Okay, there's a very good point.
So during this process, they're going to be required to install a new heat source, whether it's a wall heater or an HVAC system or something, but they are going to be required to make that correction before the close of escrow.
Okay, very good. Now, Pat, we have talked about resales. It's been sort of a passion of yours probably as long as I've known you.
Yes.
And a lot of it is making the whole process smooth for everyone. And this may seem like, oh, they're changing things, they're going to make it harder. Well, no, the whole point is to streamline it, get things done that need to be done. So what happens is for both the seller and then the new buyer, all of a sudden they come across a problem that they didn't know about. This way they'll know in advance.
That's true, but the streamlining for example, the permits is very important to get that streamlined. I've just gone through a situation where I've had to get a permit for new heating and air conditioning for the living room. And it's taken quite a few weeks to do that.
Yeah.
And you know, if you've got a situation where you have someone who wants to close escrow quickly, maybe they're out of house and home and they've got to close quickly. The current permit situation is way too complicated. Yeah. It comes back and forth between the association and the city and back again, you know. So it's like 2 or 3 weeks at least.
Right, and that is something with this new process that everything has to be streamlined. So our staff is aware we need to make it easier on both the sellers, the buyers, new members that are coming into the community, and that's something that, you know, we want them to come in and not be a difficult situation. So
right, and you know, this community is unique in that most people that live outside of here, if they're going to sell their home, they almost know maybe months and months in advance. You know, they have a plan. You know, the kids and all, we're going to go to a different school district. You know, they kind of know well in advance, and some people here do as well. And for those folks, you can start getting things looked at, you know, as soon as you can. But then there's certain situations, somebody passes away, something happens very quickly that they have to turn around and go, you know what, we got to get out of this home as quick as we can for whatever reasons, or the kids inherit it, and you know, they decide, you know, we're not going to be living here anytime soon, we're not going to rent it out, we want to sell this as quick as possible, right?
Right, and that is something we see when something's inherited and not maybe certain of our community. But that's something that our staff will work with, and you know, we'll work through it and make sure that process still is streamlined and efficient. Okay, Pat, what would be sort of the timeline as far as, let's say people decide, you know I'm going to sell my home this year, you know, in a couple months I want to put it on the market. Can they start at that point to contact Brett's office and get things inspected? They can. So it is available on our website. Okay. Any member can pull a resales packet off there and submit it. Okay. They are not required to have a resale agent representing them at that time. Okay, that's a good point. That's what I'm. But the packet is only good for 6 months, so there is an expiration time on that first resale inspection we do. Okay, so basically what you're saying is somebody gets something inspected, and then for whatever reasons they're there another 8 months, they have to pull that packet again and do the process again because something could have changed. Correct. Okay, all right, that's good to know.
And a buyer could not pull the package because they're not a member, right?
Right. Okay, now what about the real estate agents? Are you folks letting them know this process, and you know, this is something your seller needs to do, or on the other hand, this is something your buyer needs to be aware of, mainly because the buyer may be thinking, okay, I'm going to come in, everything's going to go through quickly. Well, if there's some kind of a major problem, the buyer needs to know this could be an extended escrow, right? Correct. And so our new kind of process of what we're doing is we're actually being very communicative with all of the contractors and all of the resale agents. We're sending out e-blasts, we're letting them know we actually have a list. If someone wants to come down and they come to window 7, they can put their information right on the list and we'll add them to it. And any time that something is changed in their mutual, we send out an update as a notification.
Okay, very good. And this all goes back to really your department in general, that when something's done, an alteration or whatever it may be, you need to do it the proper way, meaning with a permit, or maybe it's something that's an alteration has become more of a standard. I know you folks are doing that to make things again a little more streamlined, but there still may be a permit involved. Ask. That's all you have to do. Come to Windows 7 and just simply say, you know, this is what we're planning to do or like to do. Tell me more. Tell me how to go through this process to do it properly, right?
That's right.
A little bit of planning in the front end saves a lot of headaches in the back end, right?
Yes, it should.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Very good. Anything else you'd like to add today, Pat?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
I'm perfectly happy with weather. It's been lovely.
So am I. Isn't it nice? It's very nice. Great weather. Brett, thank you again for coming up. I appreciate it. Pat, thank you. Good to see you as always.
Nice to see you too.
All right. We'll be right back.
Thanks, Brett.
Thank you.
We'll get you unhooked in just a minute.
Trust the experts at Universal Carpet for all your flooring needs. Now get 50% off pet stain resistant and hyperallergenic carpet, porcelain tile, wood laminate and waterproof flooring, and complete kitchen and bath remodels. Plus get 5-year 0% financing, including free installation and free furniture removal. Our convenient showrooms are just minutes away in Irvine and Huntington Beach, or call 866-402-2747 for our free in-home shopping service. Universal Carpet, the low price leader for over 20 years.
Hi, it's Desiree from Irvine Subaru, where families come first. As a family-ran dealership, your family's safety is our #1 priority. Come in and find the perfect Subaru from the largest selection of Subarus in Orange County. All models are top safety picks by the Insurance Institute of Highway Safety. We offer the ideal balance of safety, performance, and economy. Irvine Subaru, more Subarus, more safety, more performance, more love.
Remember the good old days when neighbors helped neighbors with everyday chores? Here in Laguna Woods, those days are back, thanks to neighboring. If you got chores around the house like moving, cleaning, organizing messy areas, or need help with your iPhone or technology devices, our Background Check College students can help you with it all and more.
Hire a Background Check College student today. Call us at 949-322-4923 and start neighboring today.
The mayor of the city of Laguna Woods, and that is, of course, Carol Moore. We'd like to welcome you.
Good morning.
Lots of
nice
going
to be
on
here.
right now in the city. Lots of construction projects, and
you wanted to talk about the one over at the pool there.
Yeah, we got the pool one. Of course, we got the Willow tree that's kind of moving down the line to remodel that whole section.
It's making quite a change over there, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's changing the whole exterior. It was a more of a Spanish look, and now it's a more modern look.
Yeah.
So it's going to be unified, but it's in the meantime, I hope it's not disturbing the businesses.
Well, you know, we get a couple people on regularly that have business over there. they're excited.
Good.
They understand. They go, yeah, you know,
Okay.
you walk down, you can't really see our doorway and all, but the end result is
It's going to be
fantastic.
good.
No,
Right,
believe me, they're excited about it.
Good, I'm happy.
So some recognition that the city did this week, right?
We did. Bill Kahn, who was a director on the El Toro Water Board, passed away, and so we did. He served for many years,
Yes,
and
he did,
really
yeah.
he was a very dedicated person, and so we did adjourn our meeting in the memory of Bill and remembering all of his service. And then we had recognition of Pride Month, which is June. And so we had a good group that turned out for that, the LGBT group, and that was good.
Yeah.
We had a nice recognition of that. And then we had the recognition of the situation of elder abuse, which is going to be a growing situation because as people age, they have assets, and there are people who are going to take advantage of that. So
yeah. So did you have someone on just recognition or someone to speak about it?
We had a proclamation and trying to bring attention to the problem, that making sure that we're aware. When you see things, be sure to report it if you believe it is truly a situation that needs to be addressed.
Yeah, and there's lots of different avenues people can take. The Council on Aging, and
you bet.
Even here in this community, if someone is feeling next, they can walk down to social services and say, you know what, I have this concern. I don't know if I'm right or wrong, but can you point me in the right direction? This Florence Sylvester, many different resources for people.
I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah.
Both of those are really good. So people should be aware of the two services that they can use. Then we had a presentation by the district attorney, Tony Rakakis, on the sober living homes. And I don't know if you know much about the situation.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. Yeah, I kind of do, but go ahead and elaborate.
Well, we don't have the sober living home problem here because of the way our community is set up. But people need to be aware, my goodness, the money that is being wasted. It's our insurance money.
It's incredible.
Are you aware of that, how that works? Oh my goodness, they were bringing people from out of state.
Yes.
It's telling them that here, Southern California, recover in Southern California, and then they would show up here. As long as the insurance was in effect, they had a place, but then the insurance would run out.
Right.
They would just boot them out the door. They became part of the homeless situation.
Yeah.
So taking advantage of a situation is reprehensible. So that was obvious.
And the Public Utility Commissions, now a tariff rule, now explain that.
That one has to do with some money is set aside from SCE to address the problem of underground utilities.
Okay.
So these funds, but it's very slow. It's allocated to all cities.
Okay.
And so, but our portion would take like 50 years to get enough money, but you can trade them. They're kind of like cap and trade idea.
Okay.
So we're trading we have traded in the past with, I think it was Villa Park on something. They could use our funds. You can't get the money from the SCE. They won't give you the money, but they will trade it to somebody else for that use.
Okay.
So you are aware, I'm sure you travel Laguna Canyon Road, and there are the poles along there. Those need to be underground.
Okay.
And so we're working with Laguna Beach.
Okay.
And able to come out by giving them ours, and they're going to help us out. So that's a very positive thing.
It is a very positive thing, but of course, especially with the fire dangers, as
you bet.
unfortunately we've seen in this state.
Right.
With the above ground utilities. So that's good. I didn't know you could do that, though.
I know. It's interesting, isn't it? It's interesting how it's really allocated to, which is another long story.
Yeah, I'm sure.
The way things work.
All right. So you kind of touched on this with the problem with the sober living homes, with the homeless issue. We have seen it right outside the gates here and within the city.
Right. And the homeless, we're working with Judge Carter, of course, on that. Some numbers that come out of that, though, that are really quite surprising. I was astounded at this number. In Anaheim, they have Section 8 housing.
Yeah.
And they have 33,000 people on a list to get additional for Section 8 housing. So does this show you the issue, some of the issues that we have? That number just really astounded me. So anyway, I just brought that up because I thought, my goodness, these are the things that you're dealing with, and
all the cities have to work together.
Yes.
In one form, whatever becomes of this.
You bet, because it's not just the homeless comprise a wide variety of situations, from people who are on drugs, obviously, and recovering, that group, but there are other people who have been displaced because they've lost their jobs to automation. There are a number of issues there, so it's a very involved and a very large number. And in fact, the attorneys who are involved in this, in suing for the homeless, pardon me, they said that in spite of what you're hearing, that in Los Angeles it is not declining, it's actually growing. There are more on the street, but the way they've counted it makes it sound as if they decline. That's not true. They're really, their number is greater. So.
All right. Now, tell me about this digital storytelling workshop that's coming up. This sounds like a lot of fun.
I think it will be, and it's a June 26th and 27th from 9 to 5 at our library. Remember the one I've mentioned each time that we're wanting people to help support our library there in the City Hall. The California State Library brings Story Center staff for a special 2-day intensive workshop to help you make a short film about your life in California to be housed in a statewide video archive.
Oh, that'll be great.
Being part of the larger system makes this library particularly. It includes how to make a great story, group script sharing, hands-on video editing, production support, and anyway, that's you have to turn your forms in to the city. So, and this form is available at the city.
That'll be great. Yeah, if I could, maybe I'll hold this up and maybe we'll get a copy of it. And I know it's hard to see there, but very good. That'll be a lot of fun.
I think so too.
And it'll be part of the statewide system.
Right.
Very good. Now, another thing that I think is obviously to this community extremely important, that is driver safety, and there's a workshop coming up in July.
You've driven in our community.
Yes. And parked in our community, right?
Okay, the Drive Safer, Drive Longer. This is from the senior group too. They're offering this, and it's called Training, Research, and Education for Driving Safe. Want to know how to keep your driving skills sharp and stay in the driver's seat? The California Highway Patrol and UC San Diego experts have information to share on these topics: how health conditions impact driving, tips to avoid risky situations on the road, vehicle comfort and safety, DMV licensing procedures and services, and resources to promote safe driving. And that will be Tuesday, July 17th from 11 to 12 at City Hall. And the space is limited, so you do need to RSVP the city at 639-0500.
All right, very good. And that'll be a great workshop. And you know, if anything, you can find out coming up in the next, year and a half or so, you're going to need to upgrade your license. We all will, to the, I think it's called the Real ID, or you know what I'm talking about?
No, please.
It's I may have the wording wrong. I apologize, but I know we've had our Social Security guy on talking about it, Jeffrey Rodriguez, and throughout the country, there's going to be, I want to say, like a master ID. I think it's called the Real ID.
Oh, so we don't use our social number?
Right. It's primarily that even a year and a half, I think it starts in 2020, even to get on a domestic flight, you'll need that.
So even though we have our passport?
Well, it'll incorporate into, well, that's a domestic flights. It'll incorporate into all the state's driver's license. So when you get your new driver's license, you'll have a little symbol on it that'll say Real ID or what. Again, I might be wrong on that.
Interesting.
But, and there's certain forms of ID you're going to need to be to bring in. So they'll probably have that information there. So we'll all need to have that. Wow. Eventually, yes, unless you don't drive at all anymore. But I think you're.
Well, we're hoping.
But if you travel on a flight, you will. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. There you go. All right. Hey, thank you very much.
Thank you so much for having me.
Always good to see you.
Nice to be here.
And we'll be back.
All right.
Yeah, I forget the name of it, but it's a whole different system.
Wow.
And our friend Stuart Spencer is here today from Advanced Ear Care, and always good to see you, sir. Welcome.
Thanks, Ken. Great to be here.
It's a great subject you're talking about today, and these are, I kind of referred to them as refurbished hearing aids, and in a sense they will be, but they're donations because we see a program like this with eyeglasses and other things as well. All kinds of electronic things. Well, let's face it, that's what hearing aids are.
Sure.
And this is a way that people, maybe they want to upgrade, or the hearing aids they have aren't correct for them anymore. And this is done through the Starkey Foundation.
That's right. You know, in July they have their big gala that's back in Minneapolis. That's where they you know, really celebrate, you know, the work that they've done this past year all over the world, you know, helping people to hear better. And, you know, this year, you know, they're calling for more donations for hearing aids, and, you know, gosh, and helping so many people. You know, everybody likes to have kind of a stash of backup hearing aids, you know, because, I mean, obviously if something happens, they always need to be able to hear better. So we always encourage them to keep a backup set. But sometimes, you know, their parents have a set or two of hearing aids that they're not using, or you know, they're just ready to give them away, or like you say, upgrade or something like that. So, you know, if there's any, you know, used hearing aids, even if they're not even working, you know, bring them in, you know, to our office over here at the Willow Tree Shopping Center, and we'll put them to good use. You know, they tear them apart and rebuild new hearing aids. And, you know, they provide a lot of new state-of-the-art hearing aids for people, but they also take donated hearing aids. And, you know, we're not just helping people around the world, you know, we're helping people right here in our backyard too. So it's really a great cause. So if you happen to be one of those people that have something laying around that, you know, you're not using anymore, bring them on in and we'll be happy to help you.
Yeah, I think that's a great program that you have. Now, in general, do people grow out of their hearing aids much like you do your glasses? Quite often, you know, after so many years, you need a new prescription. Is it hearing aids like any electronic device? After so many years, they just wear out, or perhaps the person's hearing changed?
Right. You know, well, that's one of the remarkable things today is hearing aids last so much longer.
Yeah.
You know, it used to be, you know, we'd start at a certain hearing level, and that hearing aid was just for that hearing level.
Yeah.
So, you know, these, you know, problems are degenerative by nature, you know, so they get a little worse as time goes on. Typically, they don't have to, but typically they do. And so the hearing changes. You know, today we're able to reprogram hearing aids and really keep people using the same hearing aids they have for much longer periods of time.
Okay.
The other advantage to newer technology is, you know, when upgrades come out for the firmware, you know, kind of much like our iPhones or our Androids, we can update them. And so when people come in, we do updates all the time, right on their firmware, right while they're sitting there wirelessly. So hearing aids have a much longer period of use now. Typically, the reason people change is things of technology has changed so much. You know, faster, smarter processors. You know, different background noise cancellation, different types of accessories that apply to a person now more than they did maybe previously. So they want to change for, you know, all those types of reasons.
That's great that you're doing this program. And you'll give some batteries to people who bring their hearing aids.
Yeah, sure. You know, I thought we'd give them a little boost there.
Yeah.
Keep them on the air.
But, you know, it's nice because if you're no longer using these, put them to good use. And just like your glasses or whatever it might be. And great program.
Absolutely.
Very good. Now, talk about you talk about your free initial consultation, but what you put here is for verified best speech clarity. So explain that.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, that's the grassroots of what we do, right? Is people always come in and say, Stuart, you know, I know somebody's talking to me, but I just have a hard time understanding all the words clearly. You know, and so I say, you know, I get it. You know, it's not like, you know, they're way down at the bottom of the audiogram where it's like somebody's lips are moving and no sound coming out. They have a lot of good hearing left. So when we fit them with any kind of hearing device, we always want to make sure we're maximizing their speech clarity so that they do understand speech clearly. And we measure it, you know, so we know exactly where they're at without their hearing aids and where they're at with their hearing aids. And, you know, if that's below par, then we need to improve that. And, you know, what I'm finding, Ken, is a lot of people around this area have a lot of really good devices, but they're not programmed real properly. And you know, some simple changes in the programming really makes a substantial difference. And they're like, oh my gosh, Stuart, this is so much better.
Yeah.
So it's a simple thing, you know, it doesn't have to be expensive, or, you know, we even do the initial consultation for free, you know, just to see if we can measure that. And, you know, if they're right on target, you know, everything's just great. If not, you know, we help them out. We even do the reprogramming for free on that first visit. And then, you know, they can kind of go out and see how much better they can hear. So we're all about verifying that best speech clarity.
Yeah, that's a very good point. It's just like your phone. You want it, everybody may have a certain type of phone that all looks the same and is similar, but you can adjust it to fit your needs best, whatever that may be. And it's, obviously it's very important with hearing aids.
That's right. And you know, a lot of times there's just a learning curve that people go through, and I think, you know, in their initial consultations and their initial deliveries, you know, wherever they may get their devices, they kind of learn the real fundamentals, you know, and just what to do to make it work. You know, so we can kind of take it to a new level to show them how they can use it, you know, different features in the hearing aids for in their background noise situations to improve their speech clarity in those areas as well.
Yeah, very good. Now, friends helping friends, and this is can be a delicate subject, but basically you want to be able to tell your family member or friend, hey, you're not hearing very good anymore, so guess what? But it's a hard thing to say.
You know, it really is, Ken, and we see it, you know, with spouses, you know, that are wearing our hearing aids and like, you know, I know, you know, my husband just isn't hearing well, and he's just really resistant to coming in. You know, it takes a lot of courage, you know, to step into that and to say, you know, honey, you really need to do something about it. You know, it's not a mild type of hearing loss anymore. You're really having a problem. You know, a lot of spouses recognize their partners, you know, kind of backing off, you know, socially. Yeah. You know, and they'll just, you know, sit there and smile and nod. You know, they're not interacting with anybody anymore. Yeah. And it's real subtle, but it's really kind of tragic, you know, that a lot of these people are so interesting and so social, then all of a sudden they start to pull back because they're insecure about, you know, what people are going to say, or if they're going to say the right thing, or maybe they're even going to say the same thing somebody else said before, you know? You know, those kind of situations, and it doesn't have to be like that, you know? I mean, they can really, if the partner has a little courage, you know, to get them motivated, typically what we find is people come in, they're a little resistant, and then once they're fit, they're like, oh my gosh, you know, I should have done this a long time ago. Yeah. Because now they know the difference. And that's the remarkable thing about hearing loss is, you know, it's painless and it's really gradual and it's invisible, right? So people slide into these hearing losses, they think they have normal hearing. Right. You know, maybe they've lost a third or even a half of their hearing. And we put that back into their hearing system, and it's just like, wow, you know, what a difference. So take that courage, you know, take that step.
And you know, it's so different than somebody who needs glasses, because you are the first person to know. Nobody else knows. That's right. You'll start to say, hey, you know what, the print here, but you're right, with hearing, it's just the opposite. You're not often the first one to know.
Exactly. Matter of fact, many times you're the last one.
Yeah. All right, the Willow Tree Center. It's a mess right now, but it'll lead to good things.
That's right. You know, and I say it's a mess because it's really a mess right in front of our office. You know, they're pulling off all the tiles and ripping off all the tower stuff, and you know, it's really noisy, and you know, people have to be kind of cautious the way they get in there. But you know, it's really exciting at the same time. You know, to know they're finally getting to it. It's going to look good. We're going to get. You know, we've got a lot of new tenants coming in. I'm sorry I don't have a list of them, but. A lot of new people coming in. It's going to be, you know, a very attractive, new, active kind of center all the way around. So we're really looking forward to those results. But we'll be happy when it's done.
Yeah, and I want to tell people, if you drive over there, I don't know if yours has this yet, but some of the businesses have walls in front of them.
Oh, ours does.
So, you know, it might be a little hard to see what's in there, but you know, they 8-foot, 6-foot plywood walls, and you got to walk through like a little chute to get into somewhere.
There you go.
But that's just the way it is right now. And once that's all complete, it's going to be worth it. New businesses and maybe some new food areas, and
a lot of things are going to be coming in there that'll be really functional kind of businesses for our community. So I'm looking forward to it.
All right, very good. Good to see you, sir.
Likewise. Thank you,
as always. And advancedearcare.com. And remember, take advantage of that. If you have some old hearing aids you're not using, bring them over to Stuart and they'll be put to good use. You get some batteries for your new ones, but more importantly, they'll be able to use those in some ways for people who maybe, whether it's here or who knows, around the world, can help them out. So,
thank you.
All right, take care. We'll be right back.
It takes a team effort to provide compassionate care. At Health Plus Medical Supply and El Toro Pharmacy, your personal attention is our top priority. We have everything you need, including stair lifts, rollators, knee walkers, wheelchairs, power wheelchairs, scooters, and car lifts. And we provide all maintenance and installation. Health Plus is located inside El Toro Pharmacy, where we provide the same compassion for your pharmacy and drugstore needs. Located in Moulton Plaza.
Welcome back, folks. This is your retirement professor, Dan Oweiler, with this segment of Safe Money Retirement. Glad to have you join us today. I know in the past we've talked about a lot of different things regarding investment and risks and things like that. I want to talk to you today about the 4 asset buckets that we have in our overall estate. These are assets that fall into one of these 4 buckets, and each of these buckets will be passed on to our heirs in a different way depending upon how they're set up. So let's get started and we'll talk about that. The first bucket is what I call our taxable income bucket, and it's also estate taxable, meaning that if our estate is large enough, there'll be some estate taxes. Now, some of the things that are commonly in this are our investments, things like our stocks, our bonds, CDs or things along that line, real estate. All of these things generate taxable income to us. And so that can be taxable to us on our tax returns. Our estate tax, if our estate is large enough, these will be taxed and be taxed with a minimum of 40% on our estate taxes. So our first bucket number 1, is taxable on our income and taxable on our estate. The second bucket is what I call our tax deferred income, but also they could be estate taxable, again, depending upon the size of our estate. Okay? Now, tax in this bucket number 2 would be things like our IRAs, because our IRAs are tax deferred, 401k plans, deferred annuities. All of these things generate tax deferred interest to us. We don't have to claim them on our tax return every year until we take that interest out or we have required minimum distributions. Okay? It's tax deferred income, but it's still included in our estate to determine whether or not we're going to be paying any estate taxes on that. The third bucket is what we call our tax-free income, but could still be included in our estate for estate tax purposes. Okay? Now, what can those things? Well, the most common thing that we think of are muni bonds. Okay? Muni bonds provide us muni bonds. Those provide us tax-free income, but they are included in our estate for tax estate purposes. The second one would be a Roth IRA. Again, Roth IRAs provide us tax-free income, and they're included in our estate if we pass those on to our heirs and don't set them up properly. And the third thing would be life insurance. If we own life insurance and we're the owner of that contract, and that life insurance proceeds are passed on to our estate, either in our family trust or whatever it might be, that life insurance can also provide tax-free income to us but those assets will be included in our taxable estate to determine whether or not we have any estate taxes. And then the final bucket is what I call the tax-free income. And the estate tax-free distribution. Now, what could give us tax-free income, as well as providing a cushion or an exemption for our estate tax purposes? Well, things like charitable trusts, or irrevocable trusts that are actually taken out of our estate. Okay, those are trusts that we set up to take those assets out of our estate, maybe provide us tax-free income because we're giving them to charity or whatever it might be. And the other thing can also be life insurance. If we set up the life insurance in an irrevocable life insurance trust, that will take those assets out of our estate, and it will be tax-free because we're actually limiting the amount that we're going to be included in our estate. So this year, we have an estate tax exemption of about $5.34 million. That means that if your estate is over $5.3 million, you're going to have some estate taxes that are passed on to the heirs. If you're married, that would double because you have two spouses that could be passing on $5.3 million, so it could be $10 million plus that can be passed on to your heirs. So perhaps depending upon how much assets you have, maybe none of these taxable estates will come into play. As I plan with people, what I have found is the more assets and the larger our estate is, the more we want to move to the right. We want to move our assets to the right, the more assets that we have. If we have a large amount of money and we can move from taxable income to tax-deferred income, then that's just going to help us on our income taxes. If we have even more and we can move into tax-free income through muni bonds, Roth IRAs, or life insurance, that's even better because it's tax-free income and not tax-deferred. And finally, obviously, if we can take a portion of our assets, if we have enough assets to live on, we don't need an excess portion, we can move those into a irrevocable life insurance trust or whatever it might be, a charitable trust that provides tax-free income as well as estate tax-free. Then we've been able to do some proper estate planning and tax planning for our needs. And so the more money that we have, the more we want to move into buckets number 2, 3, and 4, okay? Because we want to be able to take advantage of the state and tax laws that are available to us. Hopefully this has kind of pointed out some things to us. If we have a lot of money here in bucket number 1, the least we want to do is maybe move some of our assets into bucket number 2 so our taxable income will go down in value, or will go down and we won't be paying as much in taxes. But that's in the planning process. If you'd like to sit down and talk about your own situation, we're happy to sit down on a complimentary basis. Give us a call. Our number is there on the screen. We'd be happy to sit down and do some planning with you. Hope you have a good day and happy retirement.
When you have confidence in your retirement future, you can live the life you've always imagined. Because of planning, you now have time to reflect on the wonderful memories of your life. You and your spouse finally have the luxury of leisure time together. To spend fun times with your grandkids, sharing the joy of their excitement about life. Smiling at the thought of quality time with your children and of picking up the check. At last, you have time to breathe and rekindle the love of your life. Why? Because you imagined what could be. You planned for retirement. So today, you own your future.
Hi, I'm Brian Rott, President and CEO of Cartmart here in Laguna Woods. My family's been in the golf cart business since 1959, and we win our customers over with the simple belief of we treat you right. We are proud to be the authorized dealer for Club Car here in Orange County and your go-to source for the sales and service to other major brands. We're conveniently located on El Toro Road, just minutes from Laguna Woods. So come by and see for yourself, while when doing business with Cartmart, there's no reason to go anywhere else.
Oh, hello. There you are. Welcome back. Well, I'm going to tell you about our movies coming up for tonight and also Monday on the the second day of summer. Now, this is called Wait for Your Laugh, and this is a documentary. It's all about the life of Rosemary, and I know a lot of you remember her particularly for being on the Dick Van Dyke Show, and then Hollywood Squares and many other game shows and other TV shows throughout her career. But she really started when she was just, I think, a little girl. I think she was probably like 6, 7 years old. And she appeared on stage in vaudeville. And then later on, she was actually somewhat connected to the mob in that she played at many of the venues that they ended up owning in Chicago and then even at the Flamingo back in the early days of Las Vegas, back when Bugsy Siegel opened up the Flamingo. She was there, and her career still went on all the way until the time when she passed away, which was late last year. Great movie. I think you'll enjoy it. I know a lot of you grew up watching her in various forms. A lot of good commentary from people who worked with her, including Dick Van Dyke. So that will be tonight at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and then tonight at 7. It is a very short movie. It's about 85 minutes, which is typical for a documentary. Then we have a movie for you coming up on Monday. This is called Swing Away, a very different kind of movie. It stars Shannon Elizabeth and John O'Hurley. It's following a meltdown of an LPGA golfer. Her name is Zoe Papadopoulos, that she travels to her grandparents' village in Greece to escape the harsh spotlight of the international sports world. Between baking bread and eating baklava, she mentors a 10-year-old girl who is determined against all odds to become the next golf sensation. And along the way, she rediscovers her Greek heritage, her love of the game, and the hidden strength within herself. This movie, like I said, is a little bit different. I have not seen this one, but it's got some good actors in it. A lot of beautiful scenery, because most of it takes place in Greece, as you can see. And I do want to tell you, this movie, when we got in it does not have subtitles per se. There are subtitles within this movie. That's because there are certain scenes where they speak Greek, so therefore there are subtitles below that, but not throughout the whole movie. That's just the way that we got it. So this will be our Monday movie at 2 o'clock. And then at 6 o'clock, Swing Away again stars Shannon Elizabeth, John O'Hurley, and it runs 98 minutes. So again, not a real long movie, but you can enjoy that. Now, today starts the painting class with Penny Rubin. If you're interested in this, it's at 1:30 to 4:30 today, and then the succeeding 8 Fridays, and that will be at the Clubhouse 1 Art Room. The fee is $96, and materials are not included. The number is 597-4273. That's the rec department for more information. You can also go online and find more information about this. Again, this starts today if you're watching us in the morning or the replay this afternoon. It is at 1:30 today until 4:30 at the Clubhouse 1 Art Room. So if you're interested, get on board with that. Penny Rubin is a great instructor, and you'll learn how to do some nice pictures. Coming up on June 30th, this is going to be a lot of fun. The Hula Club, I Didn't even realize there was a hula club here, but there is. They're having a wonderful fundraiser. It's going to have a great show and, of course, fun for everyone and great food. And this will be coming up on Saturday, June 30th at Clubhouse 2. It's $25 per person and great menu items here. I got to tell you, smoked pork and chicken teriyaki and Hawaiian-style macaroni salad and all kinds of great stuff. There'll be a show and raffles. It's going to be a great fun. So there you go. That'll be June 30th. Now, as far as the weather goes, we are still got that nice kind of June gloom that comes in overnight. It usually hits us probably around 7:30 in the evening, and get that nice fog layer that cools us all off till the early morning. Then things are burning off to just beautiful weather. We're going to just hover around that upper 70s to low 80s mark over the next several days. As you can see, there's really not much of a change. The only difference day by day, how much fog we get in. That'll be it, and that'll determine if we're up or down a couple degrees. Just beautiful weather. All right, you have a great weekend, and we will see you back here on Monday. Take care.